Chelsea, right now, for Chelsea fans, Graeme, it's fair to say, is no laughing matter, because Chelsea at Stamford Bridge at the weekend, yesterday, take on Wolves, and well done Gary O'Neill and Wolves. Wolves played a blinder, Chelsea were woeful, and Chelsea lost at home by 4-2. They're now 11th, they've lost 10 league games in the season. That is more than they have won, but more than that, with Pochettino in charge, there were even sections of the home support at the end chanting Mourinho's name, saying they would have him back, yes, for a third time. 03717 223344. Jay, Chelsea fan, would you want Mourinho back? Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. It's always a pleasure to hear your dulcet tones.
Good morning, Jay.
I'm going to blow some smoke up your bottoms just for a little bit, okay? Graeme, an absolute legend. I grew up watching you play football.
Thank you,
yes,
Jay.
You no doubtedly would have lived in today's game without a shadow of a doubt. Simon, eloquent as hell. Love it. Love it. Every single time I hear you speak. Yes, Wordsworth. And Jim, you're just superb. Period.
Okay, you can stay, Jay.
Jay, you're a lovely man. You know where we are.
Are you related to Simon, Jay?
Not that I know of. I'm of Nigerian background, but we may have hung out in South London at some point.
There we go. Look into this man, Jay, will you guys, through there? So, Jay, come on, your beloved Chelsea. Where does the problem lie?
Right, where do I start? Okay, then. For me, the signs were there from the summer with Todd Boehly and the cronies coming in, taking over the football club, not really knowing anything about football. And then on top of that, taking advice from who we really don't know. You guys have discussed it in the studio earlier about where the advice being taken from. In addition to that, overspending on very, very average players. Graeme can testify to this as far as the midfield. They may be technically nice, pretty good-looking footballers, but actually, as far as actually doing the hard yards, commanding games, communication, moving the ball in a positive kind of manner, no, it's not really happening. That's just a midfield. Attack is pretty much non-existent. I think the phrase cow's backside, banjo, whatever, can't seem to do it. And defence, as much as I love Thiago Silva, his legs have gone. Wonderful footballer, wonderful technician, brilliant. I remember him from AC Milan days. But he's a far cry from that. And you know what? He's done his time. So, wish him all the best, really.
But Jay, I think Graeme and Simon were in agreement. Maybe the owners are listening to the wrong people. Do you think that?
Yes, certainly do. Certainly do. I don't know who they're listening to. Are they Bill and Ben? I don't know. I really don't know. That for me is where the problem lies. And over expenditure. I'm not necessarily worried about the amount of money that's spent. It's not my money. I don't really care. But by players that are actually worth it. I'm hearing a lot of talk about, well, it's the current cost of players. You need to spend this and that. I'm sure if you ask Graeme, is Fernandes or Caicedo 100 million plus central midfielder? I know what he would say. And
so what do you say to Jay on that one, Graeme?
They've not shown that. What you have to accept, the big clubs, Chelsea, one of the big clubs, they will pay a premium wherever they go to try and buy a football player. But I just think it was a scattergun approach from the new owners. I mean, they bought the little left-sided defender from Brighton for about 60 million quid. Was it Alonso and Chilwell there?
Yeah. Listen,
Alonso was better than him.
Jamie, thank you for your call and thanks for the compliments. Much appreciated. Clint, big Chelsea fan. So, Clint, what's your take on it? Some of them are chanting for Mourinho. I mean, are they serious?
Well, I mean, I'm a season ticket holder, home and away, and you've got to remember where we've fallen from. When Boehly took over, we were World Cup champions, Champions League holders, and Super Cup holders. This guy has destroyed us, and I honestly think it's going to get worse than it is at the moment. I think in the next 2 years we'll be in the Championship, either that or bankrupt. I just think these people just absolutely have destroyed the club. Mourinho hasn't got a history of bringing on young players. I don't think Pochettino's getting the best of them. But there's only one player, Rhys James injured, but apart from Cole Palmer, there's no other players at the club. The rest of them are all average players. And it's been like almost like getting a jigsaw puzzle throwing it up in the air and hoping they're all going to land in position. It's never going to happen.
Okay, Clint. Now, Clint is not happy with the way the ownership have gone about it, Simon. You've defended the ownership.
Shall I tell you where Chelsea were?
There's James.
Shall I tell you where Chelsea were when they bought this football club?
Is Simon going to admit he was wrong about Chelsea?
Shall I tell you where Chelsea were when you listen to fans? And the team right now is nowhere near good enough, right? But where Chelsea were was a football club that had an owner that was being sanctioned and the government were taking possession of their football club. And the same Chelsea fans were terrified for the existence of their football club and wondered about this was an existential threat. You had a robber baron from Russia that came in, bought your football club, bankrolled it, broke the economic system, got away with murders left, right and centre.
And super successful.
And super I know he was, yeah, I get all that, right? It gets booted out. So you've got Boehly and his guys. They've now come in, they've paid £2.5 billion for this football club. And at this moment in time, in this micromanagement scenario of the last 18 months, they've made lots of mistakes, like all owners make. And in this instance, the team isn't performing at the level. Do I think it will continue this way? Do I think Chelsea are going to get relegated to the Championship? Those are bloody stupid. They're not going to get relegated to the Championship.
No one's talking about relegation.
He just said it. The fella just said it. You're going to get relegated to the Championship.
I think he's been a bit
ridiculous,
of a drama queen.
Right?
But no one's talking about relegation, but they can't be 10th or 11th.
No, they can be in the League Cup final. Let's see if they beat Liverpool in the League Cup final.
That's how mad it is. Now this conversation disappears. But it's a difficult time to be a Chelsea supporter. This is a club in their recent history were dominant for a long period of time in English football. They've been fabulous. You know, he had a business model where it was hire and fire him, but it was successful for the previous owner. But this group of players now have to be better than what they're showing. And that comes back to the manager. I don't know the manager. I've met him once when Spurs were at Wembley. Sat with him for half an hour. I thought, what a really nice guy you are. I can understand why players
want to play for
you. Yeah. Really nice man. Yeah. But he has to be getting more from the players because they've got to be better than what they're showing.
I met him when he was at Southampton and he blew me away. Some of his training ground methods, etc. And I've known him for a fair bit. And I really like Pochettino.
But these players are better than what they're showing.
You wonder why the players are not delivering for him. Jason, big Chelsea fan. Is Pochettino the right man, or are you even thinking about Mourinho?
No, not Mourinho at all. For me, I know it's not gone great, but as Simon just said, it weren't that long ago that we was worried about where we was going to actually, if we was going to be in a league, let alone 10th in it. So for me, I think when I've spoken before, I'd said Pochettino doesn't have a great record in his first season. Judge him on his second, third season. So if he gets to that point, and I just think getting Mourinho in is they're on a backward step. These Chelsea fans that are asking for him, they're the same fans that wanted him out. So we've got to go with that. So I just think stick with what we've got because we've gone through every other manager. And then just see out the season and go from there. And my last thing, where you had that other caller who said that Graeme would be able to survive in this day and age. Unfortunately, you wouldn't, Graeme, because you used to put a tackle and take one, and them little pretty boys can't do that now.
Okay, Jason, thank you for that. Simon, what's the best case scenario in terms of outcome this season for Chelsea?
Look, I think it's undeniable that, you know, the body of work that's happened over the last 20 months, I'm not defending Todd Boehly, I'm giving you context behind it. A change of ownership, a change of direction. And all of those guys, Buck on those guys, went out on the back of that deal. They had to go out. So it wasn't like Todd Boehly went, I'll tell you what, see you lot later. They went out because that was the structure of the deal that was being done, right? Now, whether he's listening to the right people or not, who knows what the right people are? Ultimately, the outcomes that are showing right now, Liverpool bid for 100 million for Caicedo. You conveniently forgot that. So they bought a player at the market value. The fact the player isn't performing, is that on the owner then? That's the owner's fault, is it?
Have you now changed your stance, Simon? Be honest with us. You thought at one stage Chelsea under Boehly and Boehly.
Chance starts, they're not going to win the league anytime soon, are they? In this
anytime
season?
soon.
In this, well, of course not. They're 10th in the bloody league. That's stating the bloody obvious.
You said they'll win it in the next 2 or 3 years.
I think there's a distinct possibility if Chelsea regain their poise and if they get the right manager in the dugout. And I'm a maintainer of the view that Pochettino doesn't win you leagues. I think he gets you close. I think he gets you a whiff of it. I mean, what's he proven in? Winning the French league. And the first year he went, and they Lille won the league.
I mean, with respect to the league and the Carabao Cup, they win the Carabao Cup. Yeah, fine. They win the Carabao Cup. If they can do that, yeah, sure.
All right.
Buys them a little bit of time.
So in the argument of the village idiot American owner, if he wins a trophy, it'll be diminished because it's only the Carabao Cup. If he doesn't win that trophy, it'll be another weapon to hit him with.
But the narrative with Graham, they're speaking to the wrong people.
Well, it depends who they're speaking to.
No,
and depends.
It's blatant obvious they're speaking to the wrong people.
Well, you wanted to buy Caicedo, so someone gave him
I
that
didn't
advice.
want to buy him.
No, Liverpool did. You're Liverpool.
I think Liverpool
for
were
the same
looking for
dough, and he chose Chelsea.
That.
And he chose Chelsea.
It's
Your
very-
Liverpool wanted to buy Lavia. He went to Chelsea.
It's very. You can't drag Liverpool into this argument. In
No, I
terms
can
of,
because you're
we
saying
don't-
you're
I
saying
think if
intellectual
they've
capital.
dodged a
Graham.
bullet. If they were bidding over 100 million quid for Caicedo, they've dodged a bullet.
That's irrelevant because you know that now because of the benefit of hindsight.
You have to look at Liverpool's history since Jurgen Klopp's been at a football club. They are second to
Graham,
none in the
That's
recruitment.
irrelevant. You're talking about the context of who they've bought and what they've bought it, and they've got people that are advising them the wrong way. They went for the same players that your team did, and the reasons why they didn't go to your team.
Not the same players. They went from one player.
Two.
So go what?
Two players in the last window, and they both went to Chelsea.
Me. What are you actually saying here about?
I'm saying that the context of who they're listening to, and the prices that they're paying are in line with what Liverpool wanted to do. And they are, Graham, because Liverpool got the intellectual
Liverpool
capital.
constantly get it right. Chelsea have constantly got it wrong
By buying the same players.
So you're
and
linking
what you're now
one,
saying is Chelsea's failures with these players means that Liverpool dodged the
You're
bullet.
linking one player.
That was a bit of a
Two players.
No.
You're linking one player that Liverpool are interested in with the way they operate.
No, I'm not.
They've been fabulous.
I'm pushing back against
He's
your
actually
arguments.
right. They went for the same players.
Once. No,
Twice.
Lavia.
I don't know if they're interested in Lavia.
Yeah, they were.
Well, two players then, but you have to look at where
what would you
Liverpool
want then?
are
There's two.
with the players they've bought in the last decade to where
And there were
Chelsea
lots of
have
people,
in the
and there were
last
lots
2
of
years.
people that wanted Mudryk.
So are you getting off the
that's
point?
three.
What is your point? That Chelsea have not listened to the wrong people?
My point is that we all listen to the wrong people, but how quickly at times you get rid of those people, right? Everyone does it. It's the point is that you're suggesting that their buying policy is completely flawed, and I'm saying to you that their management decisions and what their managers are getting out of their teams are also compounding the issue.
Don't take my opinion on this. The Chelsea supporters who are obviously hurting at this.
Oh, shut up, baiting switching. I am asking your opinion.
To a man, have said the players ain't good enough. The people who phoned in.
Yes. Yes.
Well, the players aren't doing it, is what they're saying.
He's still wanting to defend owners, isn't he?
No. I'm giving a context of an argument.
Here's one to you.
They just beat Middlesbrough 6-0 in the League Cup. No one was complaining then, right? The bottom line is that Liverpool...
with all due respect to Wolves, Chelsea cannot lose 4-2 at home to Wolves at this particular time in the season. Not having spent the amount of money they spent and be 10th or 11th in the league. Oh, okay. At the same time that you're saying
Everton,
they might well go close.
Everton can't be fourth from bottom of the league after spending 500 million quid for Mashiri. It's not about what you spend, it's how you spend it and who manages it for you.
And who was advising him?
And who manages it for you.
Who was advising him? Who's bought those players?
Okay.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.